I'm sure you've heard before that struggles with food at the end of the day are nothing to do with food. That's just a symptom of deeper stuff that's going on. That's why yet another diet or yet more nutrition education doesn't fix the problem. Now, whilst all of that is absolutely accurate, we still need to address food because most people have absolutely no idea how to achieve their goals for their body, but in a way that works with their psychology instead of against it. And unfortunately, both the weight loss industry and the fitness industry have created the perfect environment for somebody to develop problems with binge eating and a disordered relationship with food. But in addition to that, we've also got a lot of traditional therapies that are really trying to help and undo all of that damage, but inadvertently are making it worse, not better. So first of all, addressing the weight loss industry. So here we're looking at all of the popular diets, paleo, keto, intermittent fasting, these kinds of things. And the idea with these is that they have a very specific set of rules for you to follow. Eat these foods, don't eat these foods. Eat at these times, don't eat at these times. And the benefit of that is that it eliminates a lot of calculation and having to think for yourself because you just follow the rules and you lose weight. Simple. Unfortunately, it breeds perfectionism, which is what leads to the all or nothing mindset. You start seeing food as being good food and bad food. And that escalates into seeing it as being either a good day or a bad day, because you're either following the rules or you're not. And if you're not following the rules, then it's a bad day. And so what's the point? So it creates this internal pressure and psychology where you feel excessively controlled and restricted and confined with no room for error. And it amplifies FOMO, the fear of missing out, the feeling of actually being on a diet in the first place and really looking forward to ending the diet. So you resist the urges and the cravings as long as you can, but inevitably at some point you, quote, just have a taste to try to take the edge off it. But the moment that you just have a taste, now your brain is thinking, this is amazing. And I don't know when I'm next going to have this kind of feeling or this level of freedom again, because I know that just around the corner there's yet another extended period of excessive deprivation and restriction and control with no end in sight. So let's satisfy not just this craving, but every future craving I could ever possibly have. Let's just get it out of our system. And I promise, this is the last time. I really mean it this time. And of course, we all know where that leads. Now, unfortunately, the fitness industry is creating exactly the same psychological problems. So with the fitness industry, we're looking at counting calories, tracking macros, and even further beyond that, carb cycling, calorie cycling, and all of those really advanced strategies. Now, first of all, we cannot escape the science of fat loss and weight loss. Calories matter. We cannot defy the law of thermodynamics, energy in versus energy out. However, the process of counting calories as a long-term tool to try to control your behavior is what's going to create exactly the same problems with perfectionism. Because the greater the degree of control and precision you believe you need to have, the greater the fear of losing control. Now you develop loads of fear about going over the numbers and sticking to the numbers at all costs and being in an environment where you can't control the numbers, or where you can't control how your food is cooked, or whether there's carrot cake on display. And so it creates exactly the same psychology and leads to the same all or nothing mindset and perfectionism. And the other problem that counting calories creates is that it teaches this distrust and this disconnect from your body, because your body's signals are going to naturally fluctuate. As your metabolism and your appetite fluctuates, now you're going to ignore that. Your body can't be trusted. It's wrong. It's broken. You know what's right. You know what it needs. You know what's best. Stick to the numbers. Do not deviate at all costs. So now you're completely unable to respond to your body's natural signals, and you don't know how to do that. And again, you resist and you resist and you restrict and you restrict until you can't. And then what's the point? The other thing it teaches is a disconnect and a distrust of yourself, your own ability to think for yourself and make your own decisions, because now you always need rules or numbers or another human being to tell you what to do and what decisions to make in every eventuality of life. But of course, life is full of grey areas. And we now have at least 2, maybe even 3 generations of people who have lost the ability to think for themselves, which is something that we need to reteach. Now, on the flip side, we've got traditional therapies that are trying to undo all of that damage, and they're trying to correct all of these problems that people have with perfectionism and the all or nothing mindset. And the approach is to tell you that you need to stop restricting and effectively eat what you want. And the intention is pure, the intention is positive, it's to get you away from the perfectionism, and the idea being that eventually you get to a place where you can take it or leave it. And it's no longer this compulsion. But unfortunately what we find is, first of all, if somebody does have body goals, that they want to lose weight or they want to change how their body looks or feels or performs, and maybe those goals are absolutely healthy and sustainable and great quality goals, but now they have absolutely no idea how to achieve those things. But also what we then find is that when people start following that approach, okay, stop restricting, eat what you want. Now they start to eat more, they give themselves more flexibility, but they don't know where the boundaries lie, and then they end up eating more, and then it's followed by fear and panic, and then this desperate need to, quote, undo the damage, to get back on track. And the only way that you know how to do that is to go back to all of those perfectionist, unsustainable approaches from the past. And so it just leads to more and more pendulum swings. So the solution to all of this is lifestyle nutrition. We need to build a lifestyle that meets all of your values at the same time. Your recreational goals and your recreational values, and your body goals and your body values at the same time. So first of all, this is a set of guidelines and principles that you follow to the best of your ability without BSing yourself the majority of the time. Not hard, fast, rigid rules that must be followed at all costs, otherwise it's a bad day, it's a write-off, what's the point? Right? Consistency annihilates perfectionism every single time. And then you establish your personal values and boundaries and standards for your recreational life and your recreational goals. Values and standards that enable you to meet your recreational goals and your body goals at the same time. Values and standards that enable you to enjoy your favorite foods and drink on a regular basis, to go out socializing, and to enjoy appropriate flexibility. So lifestyle nutrition is kind of like compound interest. It gradually creeps up. But then 6 months later, 12 months later, you wake up in the best shape of your life, almost without noticing it happening. It kind of crept up on you. But unfortunately, most people are approaching their body goals, whether it's fat loss, weight loss, or anything else, from a desperation mindset. Please reassure me that I can get there. When is it going to happen? Is it possible for me yet? That's why people are getting on the weighing scales every day. If you're getting on the weighing scales every single day, that's not about the objective scientific data. It's purely about emotional reassurance. And that's exactly the same reason why people become addicted to counting calories every single day. It's about the emotional reassurance, because you're coming at it from a desperation mindset, which leads you to then think, what's the maximum that I can get away with in order to get the fastest results possible? Why? Because when you're in that desperation mindset, then all of your motivation and your commitments depends on you making dramatic, visible progress every single day, which intellectually you understand that's not how it works out. Weight loss and fat loss isn't a straight line, and it's gradual. So that's why perfectionism is actually the opposite of high standards. Perfectionism is the lowest standard there is. Why? Because it's an impossible standard. So when you can't get it perfect, you don't get it done at all. You think, what's the point? And you throw the baby out with the bathwater. So lifestyle nutrition is a more effective solution. More complicated does not mean better. As Einstein said, things should be made as simple as possible, but not any simpler. That's exactly what we're doing here. This is not a temporary 12-week body transformation to get the most dramatic, significant before and after photo that you possibly can, followed by rebound, which is even harder to recover from. Lifestyle nutrition enables you to be in great shape year-round, lean, fit, healthy, athletic, in a sustainable way that enables you to do life at the same time. To have a busy career, a busy business that you're really taking to the next level, a great family life, a great social life, and so on. However, here's the catch. Whilst following the wrong approach to diet and nutrition will absolutely keep you stuck in your struggles with food, in binge eating, emotional eating, and a disordered relationship with food. Lifestyle nutrition on its own is not going to fix the problem, as we established right at the start. Struggles with food are ultimately not really about the food. That's just a symptom of deeper stuff that's going on. And so whilst a smart, sustainable approach to food, lifestyle nutrition, absolutely is part of the solution, it's only a tiny piece of the solution, which is why on its own it's not going to work. It will only work when you combine it with everything else that we're going to cover in the rest of this program.